You're not tired, you're under-used. That's the truth nobody tells you. Your life isn't heavy because you're carrying too much. It's heavy because you're carrying too little. Deep inside, you know there's a stronger, sharper, more dangerous version of you waiting to be unleashed, but you've been pretending you don't hear that voice. Every day you repeat the same habits, talk the same excuses, and walk the same path expecting a different outcome. That ends right now. The world doesn't reward the average, it rewards the uncommon. And you will never unlock a new reality by thinking like everyone else. You level up by demanding more from yourself than anyone expects. You level up by becoming the person who refuses to break, refuses to settle, refuses to live on default mode. Stop asking for comfort, ask for challenge. Stop waiting for motivation, generate discipline. Today is the day you stop negotiating with your weaknesses and start obeying your potential. You want a new reality. Earn it. Build it. Fight for it. Because the moment you choose growth over comfort, pressure over pleasure, and responsibility over excuses, that's the moment your entire life shifts. Your new life won't come to you. You rise up and take it. This is your turning point. Don't waste it. Discipline is the foundation of freedom. Without it, you'll forever be a slave to your emotions. And most people don't even realize they're living in chains. They think freedom means doing whatever they feel, whenever they feel it. But that's not freedom, that's chaos disguised as comfort. Every time you let your emotions decide your actions, you hand them the steering wheel of your life. If you wake up only when you feel like it, you'll sleep through your destiny. If you work only when you feel motivated, you'll work less and regret more. If you chase pleasure instead of purpose, you'll spend your whole life running in circles, wondering why your dreams stay out of reach. Discipline is the opposite of emotional slavery. Discipline is choosing the action that builds your future instead of the feeling that destroys it. Discipline is waking up when your mind screams, "Stay down," because you know the version of you on the other side of discomfort is stronger than the one you are now. Discipline is saying no to the cheap dopamine that steals your ambition. It is controlling your impulses, not letting your impulses control you. It is deciding who you want to become and then acting like that person long before the results show. People don't fail because they aren't capable. They fail because they obey the wrong voice. They obey fear. They obey laziness. They obey doubt. They obey the instant relief that keeps their life exactly the same. You become a prisoner of your emotions when you let them dictate your choices. Fear whispers, "Don't try." Laziness whispers, "Do it later." Comfort whispers, "Take the easier path." And every time you listen, your world gets smaller. But discipline is the weapon that cuts through all those lies. Discipline rewires your mind. It teaches you that you don't need to feel ready to move. You just move. You don't need to feel strong to begin. You begin and become strong. You don't need to feel like doing the work. You do the work until feeling becomes irrelevant. Freedom isn't the absence of rules. Freedom is being in full control of your life, your reactions, your habits, and your direction. Freedom is having the ability to start something and finish it. Freedom is trusting yourself to follow through. Freedom is creating the life you want instead of being dragged by the life you fear. Discipline gives you that power. It forces you to confront the uncomfortable truth you are not owed anything. You don't deserve results you didn't work for. You don't deserve respect you didn't earn. You don't deserve success if you're not willing to sacrifice for it. Discipline is the bridge between desire and achievement. It is the tool that turns "I wish" into "I will," and someday into today. Without discipline, your dreams stay dreams. With discipline, your dreams become blueprints. Without discipline, excuses become your language. With discipline, actions become your identity. Without discipline, you collapse when life gets heavy. With discipline, you become the type of person life cannot break. The truth is, discipline is not natural. Your body wants comfort. Your mind wants safety. Your emotions want pleasure. Discipline forces all three to align with your higher purpose. Discipline is choosing long-term fulfillment over short-term satisfaction. It is doing the reps when no one is watching, making the tough decisions when no one is clapping, and building habits that nobody sees but everyone will eventually notice. Discipline is the quiet work that makes loud results. The reason discipline feels like sacrifice is because your future self is demanding something from your present self. The weaker version of you hates that. The stronger version of you is built by that. Every disciplined choice is a vote for the person you want to become. Every moment you resist temptation, delay gratification, or push yourself forward when your emotions tell you to quit, you're breaking the chains. You're rewriting the story. You're leveling up. And here's the part most people never understand. Discipline eventually becomes freedom because it becomes automatic. What once felt impossible becomes normal. What once required force becomes natural. What once felt like sacrifice becomes identity. Discipline turns into momentum, momentum turns into progress, and progress turns into a life that other people call luck, while you know it was built brick by brick. If you want true freedom, financial freedom, personal freedom, emotional freedom, you must first master the discipline to control yourself. Because the world will always test you. Your emotions will always fluctuate. Your mind will always try to negotiate. But a disciplined person doesn't wait to feel right. They act right. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They create it. They don't run from struggle. They use it. Discipline is not punishment. It is liberation. It is the key that unlocks every door you've been too afraid to open. And once you cultivate it, once you commit to it, once you live by it, you stop being a slave to your emotions and start becoming the architect of your reality. That is real freedom. That is real power. That is the life you were meant to live. Discipline is the foundation of freedom. Without it, you'll forever be a slave to your emotions. Most people don't realize how controlled they are by momentary feelings. They think they're making decisions, but in reality, their emotions make decisions for them. When you wake up and choose to stay in bed because you don't feel like getting up, that's not you choosing comfort. That's your emotions chaining you down. When you skip the work you know you should do because you're tired or stressed, that's not self-care, that's emotional slavery pretending to be self-love. True freedom begins the moment you stop letting your emotions dictate your actions. Emotions are temporary. Discipline is permanent. The problem is that feelings are loud, fear screams, doubt whispers poison, laziness feels like warm safety, and procrastination disguises itself as rest. But none of those feelings care about your future. None of them care about your dreams, your potential, or the life you want to build. They only care about comfort in the moment. And comfort is the most dangerous addiction in the modern world. The people who win in life aren't the ones who feel motivated every day. They are the ones who act even when they are exhausted, unmotivated, unsure, or scared. That's discipline. Discipline is waking up early even when your bed feels like heaven. It is doing the workout when your body begs for rest. It is turning off distractions when your mind craves escape. It is choosing long-term victory over short-term pleasure. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, especially on the days you don't want to do it. The hardest truth is realizing that your emotions will never naturally align with greatness. Greatness requires discomfort. Greatness demands sacrifice. Greatness forces you to go beyond what feels easy, pleasant, or comfortable. Your emotions want the easiest route. Your potential requires the hardest. And this is why discipline is freedom. It frees you from being ruled by the worst parts of yourself. A disciplined person is free from laziness, free from regret, free from the anxiety of unfinished goals, free from the guilt of wasted time, free from the stress of living below their potential. Discipline builds a life where you can trust yourself. Most people don't trust their own word because they break promises to themselves every single day. They say they'll wake up early and don't. They say they'll eat healthier and don't. They say they'll start that project and don't. Every broken promise weakens their identity and strengthens their emotional prison. But when you choose discipline, every action becomes a statement. Every time you show up instead of giving in, you tell yourself, I am in control. Every time you resist temptation, you tell yourself, I am stronger than my impulses. Every time you follow through, you tell yourself, I keep my word. And over time, discipline doesn't just change your habits, it changes your self-image. You start to see yourself as someone powerful, someone capable, someone unstoppable. That internal identity shift is the birth of true freedom. Because freedom is not the ability to do whatever you want. Freedom is the strength to do what you must. A person without discipline is controlled by mood. A person with discipline controls their destiny. Think about every meaningful achievement in life: financial independence, physical strength, mastery of a skill, success in business, healthy relationships. They all require discipline. They require consistency, effort, sacrifice, patience, and the ability to act even when your emotions resist. Without discipline, you keep starting and stopping, repeating cycles, wasting years, and wondering why nothing changes. With discipline, progress becomes non-negotiable. You stop wishing for results and start earning them. You stop dreaming about a better life and start building it. You stop being trapped by emotional reactions and start living with intentional action. Discipline frees you from the emotional storms that used to control you. Stress hits you. You keep working. Fear rises. You take the step anyway. Laziness creeps in. You act before it anchors you. Doubt whispers. You move forward on principle, not emotion. This is the power most people never experience. The power of being unstoppable because you are no longer controlled by how you feel. Discipline transforms chaos into order. It transforms weakness into strength. It transforms the impossible into the inevitable. And here's the irony: what starts as sacrifice eventually becomes support. The habits you fight to build in the beginning become the habits that carry you later. Discipline becomes momentum. Momentum becomes progress. Progress becomes confidence. Confidence becomes freedom, because when you've trained yourself to do the hard things first, the rest of life becomes easier. When you've trained yourself to act regardless of emotion, you can accomplish what others only talk about. When you've trained yourself to stay committed, opportunities begin to open that were invisible before. Life rewards the disciplined. Life punishes the emotionally controlled. The world belongs to the person who can master themselves. So if you want real freedom, real choice, real control, real power, discipline must become your foundation. It is the shield that protects your future from your emotions. It is the weapon that destroys excuses. It is the engine that keeps your life moving forward. Discipline isn't just a habit. It's the key that unlocks every level of your potential. Without it, you live in chains. With it, you become unstoppable. Discipline is the foundation of freedom. Without it, you'll forever be a slave to your emotions. Your emotions are unpredictable, unstable, and constantly shifting. One moment you feel unstoppable, the next you feel worthless. One moment you're excited to take action, the next you're too tired, too stressed, too overwhelmed. If your life is controlled by these emotional swings, you will always live in reaction instead of creation. That means you will move only when you feel like it, which is the fastest way to guarantee you never build anything meaningful. Discipline becomes the force that stabilizes your life. It is the anchor that keeps you grounded when emotions rise and fall like waves. Without discipline, every setback destroys you. Every fear stops you. Every moment of doubt turns into paralysis. But with discipline, you keep moving even when the storm is loud. You push forward even when your feelings try to hold you back. Discipline doesn't care if you're tired, sad, drained, or uninspired. Discipline cares about the mission. It cares about the future. It cares about the standard you want to hold yourself to. Most people live in emotional slavery because no one taught them the truth. Your emotions are not instructions. They are signals. They are noise. They are temporary visitors. But they are not meant to control the direction of your life. When you let emotions dictate your actions, your entire life becomes inconsistent. You work hard one week, then you vanish the next. You start projects but never finish them. You set goals but rarely follow through. You break promises to yourself so often that you stop believing in your own potential. That is the quiet prison of emotional dependency. Discipline breaks you out of that prison. It teaches you to act based on decisions, not moods. It transforms your mindset from, "I'll do it when I feel like it," to, "I'll do it because it needs to be done." And that shift is what separates growth from stagnation. Discipline allows you to choose your future instead of surrendering it to whatever emotion you wake up with. Think about how many times emotions have cost you opportunities. How many workouts you skipped because you didn't feel like it. How many dreams you delayed because you didn't feel ready. How many chances you ignored because you felt fear instead of courage. Emotions are expensive. They steal your time, your progress, your confidence, and your momentum. But when discipline enters your life, everything changes because you stop giving your emotions the power to sabotage you. Discipline gives you structure. Structure gives you focus. Focus gives you speed. Speed gives you results. And results give you freedom, the freedom to live life on your own terms instead of being dragged around by unreliable feelings. Discipline also builds emotional resilience. While emotional slavery makes you fragile, discipline makes you powerful. A disciplined mind can feel fear without being controlled by it. It can feel sadness without collapsing. It can feel doubt without giving up. It can feel stress without shutting down. Discipline teaches you how to function through discomfort. It trains you to keep going, not because the process feels good, but because the outcome is worth it. You learn to delay gratification. You learn to prioritize long-term reward over temporary pleasure. You learn to silence the internal voice that wants everything easy and strengthen the internal voice that wants everything earned. People with discipline don't chase emotions. They chase improvement. They don't look for shortcuts. They build foundations. They don't chase comfort. They chase self-respect. And self-respect is one of the greatest forms of freedom. When you know you can rely on yourself, you no longer fear the challenges ahead. You no longer feel trapped by indecision or doubt. You no longer live with the chaos of inconsistency. Discipline builds a version of you who is trustworthy, dependable, and strong, someone who follows through no matter how they feel. But the truth is, discipline doesn't come naturally. It has to be trained. It has to be built. It is formed in the moments when you feel like quitting but don't. It is forged in the mornings you wake up early, the nights you push one more hour, the days you stick to the plan even when nobody is watching. Discipline grows every time you choose effort over excuse. It strengthens every time you say no to the emotion that tries to steal your progress. When you live with discipline long enough, something powerful happens. Your emotions stop controlling you and start supporting you. The same mind that once wanted to escape difficulty begins to crave achievement. The same emotions that once pushed you toward comfort begin pushing you toward growth. You start to feel pride, confidence, and momentum because discipline has shaped your identity into someone who moves with purpose instead of emotion. Eventually, discipline becomes your nature. It becomes instinct. And that is when you taste real freedom, the freedom of knowing that no emotional storm can stop your progress, no moment of weakness can break your consistency, and no temporary feeling can take away the future you're building. Discipline gives you the ultimate power control over yourself. Without that you are a prisoner. With it, you are unstoppable. E-truth. Now here's the part most people run from. Nothing in your life will change until you change. Not your job, not your environment, not your circumstances, you. You can watch every motivational video on the planet, but if you wake up tomorrow and repeat the same habits, you'll repeat the same life. The world doesn't reward wishful thinkers, it rewards disciplined doers. And the difference between the person you are and the person you want to be is measured in daily decisions, not dreams. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for motivation to magically appear. Act now, move now, decide now. Because every day you delay, your potential gets further out of reach. This is your moment to choose who you want to become. Do you want to stay the same, controlled by emotions, distracted, inconsistent, or do you want to become the version of yourself that demands respect, creates progress, and dominates their reality? The power is already in your hands. Here is the lesson. Your future is built by what you're willing to do when nobody is watching. Starting today, commit to one thing, take action every single day. No excuses, no negotiation, no retreat. This is how your new life begins.